Welcome to the Buck Stops here, the official audio show of NotInHallOfFame.com, and I'm your host, Kirk Buckner, the Buck, the owner and the operator of NotInHallOfFame.com, the sister sites, the Fictitious Athlete Hall of Fame, the Fictitious Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and, coming soon, the United States Athletic Hall of Fame. I'm really excited about that one. It's actually through that I have developed more of a friendship with my next guest, someone I've talked to before, Wayne Mabry. Now, if you're a Raiders fan, or even if you're not a Raiders fan, you know who this guy is. Wayne Mabry is the Violator, probably the greatest fan of the Raiders that exists, and one of just the great football fans in general. And you know what? I'll go one step further. Just a great guy. Wayne is now a two-time Hall of Famer, and I got a chance to talk to him about that, and I talked to him a little bit about the project that he's working on with me, and what's going to be happening with him come Pro Football Hall of Fame weekend, which will take place this August in Canton, Ohio. Without further ado, let's bring in Wayne. You know, Wayne, the last time I talked to you, I was already talking to a Hall of Famer. Now I'm talking to a two-time Hall of Famer. You're now in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Well, yes, and lightning can strike twice in the same place. I've truly been blessed on this journey of mine, going on 30 years here, to just to be able to have the wherewithal to keep representing, the Raider Nation and pro football in general, just the way I've been doing, remaining humble, but I'm hungry at the same time. So it's been one hell of a walk.
So walk me through that. I know that you mentioned this on Twitter, how you were one of the nominees. And I certainly was. I voted for you a few times because I could. Figured out how to do that. And you had to pick. Then all of a sudden, this picture pops up, and it's you and David Baker along with two other fans. So how do you get told that you were one of the winners? Like how does this come together?
Well, after, a month or so of voting, we were waking up with a phone call, like about 6 a.m. my time. I'm in Pacific Standard Time. And it was one of the executives from Ford letting me know that I was coming to Tampa for the Super Bowl. And I had made the top three. So that's kind of like how the phone call went. They also added that, all the voters were looked at as our team. So it was like your team really came to bat for you, and which made me feel great.
So so that was the day before the Super Bowl?
That was Tuesday. No, it was Wednesday. So okay. We already had flights arranged, so we flew out on Thursday and got to Tampa. So we were there, 5 days basically, and just kind of enjoying the festivities and everything that they had for us to do. We had a full itinerary pretty much, and that time went so fast. But just being there in person after watching the Super Bowl since I could sit up, and was quite the experience. TV to me doesn't do it justice. But the fan bases were different than it would have been on a regular season. Mm-hmm. Had there been just the diehard blue-collar fans that, show up every week.
No, definitely. So it must have been so I guess as cool as it was to be at the Super Bowl, there's, I guess, a bit of a bittersweet feeling just because of COVID. And I guess when you finally figured, hey, I'm going to be going to the Super Bowl, I would imagine you would have thought that there would have been the Raiders in it.
Well, you know what I did, using the vivid imagination I have, I was picturing Tampa Bay wearing silver and black. That's kind of like how I got some kind of excitement from the game.
Oh, Buccaneers, Pirates, Raiders. Yeah, you could make that 6 degrees of separation.
That's what I did, and it almost like I had skin in the game, but was just longing for the day that my actual team is there, and I'm there.
Mm-hmm. So again, congratulations for you to be a part of that. I imagine that that's not part of the book, though, because you've got a book that came out, and I guess that part wasn't written for it.
No, this book It's entitled The Walk, Footsteps of My Journey.
Mm-hmm.
You can get that now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all your major book retailers, or you can go right to my publisher's website, www.dorrisbookstore.com, and get your copy. Also, if you'd like to get an autographed copy, then hit me up on my social media links, and I will send you that info, and we'll have that done also. But it was quite the journey. I ended it at the end of the 2019 season. I figured end of an era, that's the end of volume 1 of the book. So already volume 2 is in the works. I don't know when it will be completed, but it's a work in progress.
So I guess volume 2 would start with the COVID year.
In 2020.
Okay, in 2020.
2020 season.
Okay. And so I guess you hadn't been able to make it out to a Vegas game yet. And I guess, I don't even know, did they even have fans in Nevada?
No fans in the Death Star yet. I'm waiting on the ribbon cutting ceremony when they let us in the gates.
I would hope that they're going to extend something to a Hall of Famer and bring you out for that big game.
Well, like I say, I'm very spiritual, and I've already done my praying as far as that. Let's just see if prayers are answered.
Mm-hmm. Is there any? Because obviously, I don't want you to go through the entire book because I want people to buy it, and I'm going to be doing that myself also. But is there any sort of interesting stories that you can sort of like tell people that that is going to be coming as part of this book, without giving too much away?
Inspirational moments in my life from a young kid in small town Mississippi who always was kind of like an out of the box thinker, and considered weird by some, but you just stay true to who you are. But it's just showing some of my growth, some of my spiritual growth, things that I went through on my journey. Once I fell in love with that Raiders shield, then California was my quest as a youngster. And like I say, 50 years later, I'm living a fan's dream.
Is there any discussions of some of the people that you've met along the way?
There are a few mentions and a few photos showing those people that are not all of them, because I couldn't, put them all in there nor get in touch with all of them in time to go through all of that stuff. But there are definitely some people mentioned, and anybody that was along that journey knows the situations that I'm explaining. So it's, from players, coaches, team owners that I've met over the years, and just little small chit-chat situations. But it'll make you use your own imagination as you read it.
Mm-hmm. And one thing I never asked you before was the relationship that you had with or maybe if you had one, I assume you did, with Al Davis.
Listen, to me, Al was way ahead of his time. In my eyesight, he was a genius. He was a mastermind. Mm-hmm. And I always looked at him as a villain as far as the league was concerned. But like I say, I still hold him to the highest esteem because this team wouldn't be what it was without his imagination of what his vision of what he wanted from an organization. So I'm proud to even be remotely associated with it. Mm-hmm. And I never really had those moments where he and I could kind of have a one-on-one conversation. I was loving to do that, before he passed away, but never got that opportunity, man. He kind of was well guarded in that respect.
Well, another person who I know that you've talked about before, the first time that you and I ever spoke, we talked about the shame that Tom Flores was not yet in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And we both suspected, and it turned out to be accurate, that it was going to happen in 2021. And, at age 88, we were hoping he was going to be alive to enjoy it. It did happen. I believe Tom wasn't there in Tampa due to COVID. I think they were a little hesitant to fly him out. But I imagine you'll be seeing him in Canton, hopefully.
Brother, I cannot wait. That's like I say, we've known each other for years. I've gotten advice from him over the years. You talk about a first-class individual. let alone his accomplishments as a player and coach. It's just tremendous, and I feel like he was personally slighted, but he's like one of those trailblazers that can open doors for many others, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so happy for him getting in, and I can't wait to see him and Woodson when we get to Kent.
Oh, that's right. Yes, two. So it's two Raiders. I always forget.
It's like,
Yes.
I dubbed it Raiders trifecta.
That is awesome. So, do you know how the situation is going to be playing out this August? Are you being inducted the day before, the day of?
I'm not. I think the day that we get inducted is on a Sunday. But like I say, they haven't sent the exact itinerary yet. I think it's going to be on separate days. So, just to keep that separated from, the players.
Mm-hmm.
So, but either way, we're going to be at some of the same functions and activities. So I can't wait to just do some catching up with them as far as shop talk.
And I apologize to the other people who are being inducted with you. Can you tell me a little bit about the other two people of that class?
Well, some two great people. As far as that weekend that we had together, I didn't know anything about them at first until we met in Canton. But we have some similar goals in life as far as charitable work and giving back. So we kind of formed a coalition over that weekend, and we're working on some stuff that we'll like pull the curtains back on when they're at the appropriate time. But Ray, which was the Browns nominee, great guy, and Christie, former Arizona Cardinals cheerleader, was also just a bundle of energy. And I think we talked amongst ourselves. I think we were probably one of the craziest classes that had come through.
Now, does it work this way, Wayne, where does each team get to nominate a fan?
From my estimation, that's the way I think that it goes. You have a better chance. There were 26,000 entrants, but the ones that were basically selected by somebody from one of the teams stood a better chance of making the fight, that crop. So I say all that goes hand in hand with your relationship with your prospective team. So, I knew that the organization was behind me, and I just can't wait to thank them in person too. Matter of fact, I just posted up a video today. People have been saying, why don't you put something up where you're just talking and telling people? So I did that today, and we'll just see the feedback from that. But I can't wait till August to get that blue jacket and that Hall of Fame ring, and also have my display forever in Canton.
That is awesome. So it's not going to be a gold jacket; it'll be blue.
It'll be blue because it's sponsored by Ford.
Oh, okay. So that was going to be my next question, that whether it was going to be like powder blue but that obviously it's Ford blue. Okay. The fact that I know what color Ford blue is very interesting. I don't think I've ever really thought of those things together. I would guess.
I think it's going to be that same color blue that you see Big Dave wearing.
I would think so.
I could rock that pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. I guess then the next thing would be I would imagine you getting in will sort of help some of the other Raider superfans, because I think you're the most recognizable, but you've been always very humble that you're one of this whole coalition of diehard Raiders fans. Is there anyone you'd like to see sort of follow in your footsteps into the Ford Fan Hall of Fame and the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
Well, I look at all of us, the character fans, as they call. I don't really care for the whole term super fan. I'm just an ambassador. That's the only title you need to know me by, Mr. Ambassador. But a good friend of mine who I feel will get that next nod would be Gorilla Rilla.
Yeah, that's kind of who I thought you might be looking at. It's been so great catching up with you again. I also want to thank you on this platform. Wayne is part of my little group that we put together. We are proud that probably by the end of this month, that the United States Athletic Hall of Fame, something that I still can't believe doesn't exist, Wayne was part of the selection process. And thank you for that.
It was a pleasure, man. It was a pleasure, really. It took me back, way back in the history of sports, made me do a lot of research and looking up people that I remember when I was a lot younger. But, these guys deserve their just due also.
Yeah, and then just something a little bit different. I don't know whether I've got any kind of jackets for all these people. I'm a little bit smaller than some of these other institutions that I guess I'm going to be trying to compete against. But it's a start.
Definitely, and every journey starts with the first step.
No, for sure.
You made that.
And I appreciate that. And I'm really proud that you were part of that from the beginning. And hopefully we're expanding that. And we've been adding some new people to our committee where I believe once we put this all in motion, I have a feeling that some bigger names are going to be joining us. And I'm really excited about that.
It's all about planting the seed, Kurt.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You mentioned your social media. Could you let everyone know where they can follow you?
You can follow me on Twitter at Violator57. Instagram, Mabry Wayne. That's my name, just backwards. Mabry Wayne. Facebook, of course, Wayne Mabry 57. And LinkedIn, Wayne Violator Mabry.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure catching up, and I know we'll talk soon. And hopefully, maybe I can. Evan and I, we've been talking about maybe we can try to make it out to Canton if this all sort of works out with COVID, but we're not really sure, as I'm sure a lot of us aren't.
Everybody's fingers crossed, man. But I'm going to take all the precautions I can, and just look to just give another thank you personally out to the Raider Nation.
All right. Thanks so much, and stay safe, everybody.
You got it. Appreciate it.
Thank you all for listening. Look for a lot more material coming from us at notinhalloffame.com. Stay safe, everyone.